सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Together we chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, verses 1 to 10.
अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम तत्क्षेत्रं यच्च यादृक् च यद्विकारि यतश्च यत् स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम् छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः महाभूतान्यहङ्कारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेषः सुखं दुःखं सङ्घातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम् अमानित्वमदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधिः दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु
So what we have done in this chapter so far is that the Lord, God, Brahman, Atman, whatever you want to call it, is the Kshetrajna in all the Kshetras, is the enlivening principle in all the fields. So every human being, every being is made up of a Kshetra and a Kshetrajna, matter and spirit. The individual is equal to matter plus spirit. This is what he has told us so far. He's told us what is the role of spirit and what is the role of matter. I mean, what is matter? He's told us in our normal thing, it is the body, mind, intellect. But of course, he has explained it a little bit more. Now, you may say, so मैं क्या करूं? What of it? This is the biggest problem with philosophy. When philosophy teaches us something, we don't get it. I mean, if I ask you what is the formula for an individual, every one of you will tell me, I believe. Okay, tell me, what is the formula for an individual?
Self plus BMI.
What plus BMI you said?
Self.
Self plus BMI. Spirit plus matter. Correct. Every one of you will know this. At least I hope you know at least this. But knowing something in philosophy is always equivalent to
Determine.
to doing, to living. Correct. So what does it mean then? If I understand this, that every individual is equal to matter plus spirit, if I understand this is called erudition or scholarship. What is the first 7 verses of the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita? Tell me. And you answer this question by saying matter plus spirit, spirit plus matter is equal to individual. You are a knowledgeable person. But Krishna tries to tell us that knowledge is not knowing it and saying it, but knowledge is living it. The moment you understand this most simple, most basic thing in life, spirit plus matter is equal to individual, your life will change. Absolutely become a different person. Now you may be wondering, I understand this, I haven't become a different person. That's the whole problem with philosophy. That's why nobody wants to study Vedanta. And those who study it also are not very clear often what they are doing. The moment you get it, that the self in all of us is one and the same, that the matter layers in all of us is also the same. It's the same body, mind, intellect. What will this person be? How will this person behave? That is what the next topic talks about. The next topic is the 20 qualities of a Jnani. Jnani is one who's understood spirit plus matter is equal to the individual. Now, if he's understood this, how will he behave? He starts off in verse 8. I don't know the significance of this comes to you. Because it's the biggest problem in philosophy, that the philosophical understanding is so satisfying that it is not getting converted into the actual business of living. We see no connection. We say things like, oh, I'm going to spiritual classes, so I shouldn't get angry, or I should be nice, or something like that. We don't see it really. So let's see, what is the quality of a person who understands that matter, spirit plus matter is equal to the individual? First quality you get is amanitvam. Mana means pride. Amana means no pride. Amanitvam, being without pride, or in English you translate it as humility. But I prefer the amanitvam. The word is much better, no pride. Where does pride come from? Pride comes because of wrong values of life. When you have something which you desire, you become very proud that you have it. You look down on people who don't have it. Where is all this generating from? It's generating from wrong values. What wrong values? That this body, mind, intellect is more important than some other body, mind, and intellect. That the possessions of this body, mind, intellect somehow have greater value than the possessions of another body, mind, and intellect. If you realize that each one is nothing but the body, mind, intellect, and living by the self, what comparison are you going to do? If you have a good quality, or you have a Mercedes car, somebody else may have great charitable instinct. Or if you think, no, I have a great charitable instinct, then somebody may be proficient at music. Every body, mind, intellect will have something which other body, mind, and intellects will have less of. Isn't that so? So now I am proud because I'm a great singer, and then Pravesh is proud because she's a great painter, and then Komal is proud because she's a great dancer. What meaning does that have? Each one of us has some good qualities, and flowing from that, each one of us has
Negative ones.
Flaws.
abilities. Some things we can do, some things we can't do. Now I'm making a big tom-tom about what I can do. In the sum total of things, is it not working out to be the same? Hey, I can't do X, but I can do Y. You can't do Y, but you can do X. So what is mana? It is simply wrong values of life. When you give importance to things which should not be given importance to. This is called mana. Mani Ramalingam. Even feeling of inferior is wrong value, right? Yes, correct. If you feel inferior, if you feel superior, all of it is wrong values. Because if you had right values, what would you be valuing? What would you be valuing? Very good. We'll value the self. and each one has that equally. So what are you talking about? What is the man on? What is the upper man of? Each one of us, regardless of the caliber and caliber of our body, mind, and intellect, we are all the self. There is nothing other than the self here. So, what does Vedanta say? Normally if you hear Amanitvam, you'll get a lecture on don't be egoistical, this, that, and the other. But what does all that mean? It only means having the right values. When you give importance to the right aspects of life, other people will say you are a humble person. You don't go about saying. Other people will feel you to be a humble person. Not just say it, but feel you to be a humble person. A humble person doesn't go around saying, oh, I am nothing, I am nobody, I know nothing. Many speakers start like that. I don't know anything. Then any objective person will say, if you don't know, then why are you coming to speak on this subject? Let somebody you know speak on this subject. So humility is not about saying, I don't know. Humility is not denying your capacities. It is understanding that while you have your capacities, everybody else has theirs. So in the final sum total of things, nobody's higher, nobody's lower. All is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forests on my back, you can crack a nut, as the squirrel so wisely said to the mountain. The mountain can carry a forest on its back. But can a mountain crack a nut? Mountain is incapable. If you give a peanut to a mountain and say, oh mountain, please break this peanut and give me, shell the peanut, will the mountain be able to do that? But the squirrel will do fata, 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 it will break the nut and eat the peanuts, break the shell and eat the peanut. So if I cannot carry forests on my back, neither can you crack a nut. So, what is amanitvam? Can anyone tell me what is amanitvam?
Having the right values.
Values.
Correct. Very good. Adambhitvam. Adambhitvam means not having pretentiousness. There's no dambha, there's no pretentiousness. Pretentiousness means showing yourself to be more than what you are. One very, very common example of this, excuse me, is if you go to talk to anybody in Delhi, they will all talk as if Modi ji is their best friend. They all have connections with PMO. I haven't met anybody in Delhi who doesn't have a connection with PMO. I don't understand how the whole world over there knows the Prime Minister. Everybody. Adambhitvam. Do not claim superiority. Do not pretend to be superior. Not to fake it. In every small way, we try to fake it. When these what are these actresses, they put on makeup. One lady, one man who's associated with the film industry spoke to me once, and he was saying, oh, I'm not mentioning the actress's name. You think X looks so beautiful, but if you look at her in real life, she looks awful. And how is she looking so beautiful on the screen? Apparently makeup. You put on makeup to look better than you are. You put on airs to show that you are better than you are. Please, I'm not against putting makeup, okay? I don't know what I can ever say without people misunderstanding. If you need to please put on makeup, please do. Vedanta, there's no rule in Vedanta not to put on makeup. That is a person's personal decision. You want to do it, do it. You don't want to do it, don't do it. Vedanta has no view on this matter. If it's relevant, do it. Now, when we go for these shoots and all, you have to put on makeup. Otherwise, you will look like a ghost on the screen. So I'm not against makeup. It's only the concept of trying to show superiority where there is none. It is conceptual, it is not action oriented. It could be even very simple, such as guests are coming to your house, you quickly clean the living room. Bedroom is a mess still, but living room has been cleaned. Adam Bitwan. If according to you, the living room should be kept clean, then it should be kept clean at all times, not just because somebody is coming. Whatever according to you should be done at all times, isn't it? So, trying to show that you are superior where you are not, that is Adam Bitwan. I mean, that is Damba, that is pretentiousness. So, humility is, Amanitwan is having the right values. Pride comes because of wrong values. When this becomes exaggerated, right? So, like a boy was getting married, but his father didn't have a Mercedes. So, for the day of the marriage, they borrowed a Mercedes from their friends, and the boy came to the wedding in a Mercedes. I'm not saying don't do it. Please, I'm not making a comment on the action, but the concept of it, that you wish to show yourself to be in possession of something which you do not have. It could be knowledge. At cocktail parties or any party, you should see how the men talk. Sorry, I'm not being gender specific, but usually women don't talk like that. Men will talk about politics and sports and all sorts of things as if they are the world's authority on that subject. And if two of these world's authorities meet, the party is gone because then they'll start quarreling over something. Adhambitvam. Do not claim superiority where there is none. Ahimsa. Ahimsa is the capacity to not wish another harm. There is no intention of himsa. Himsa means violence, pain, hurt. There is no intention of himsa. It certainly does not mean that you cannot hit or shout or kill. Because if it meant that you cannot hit or shout or kill, the recommendation for ahimsa would not be being made on
the battlefield.
the battlefield. Don't forget, there's a battle about to start, and Krishna is almost telling Arjuna that he should be ahimsak. But this is a battle. Arjuna is not turning around to Krishna and saying, what? You're telling me to fight the war and practice ahimsa? How can I do both? Make up your mind. You want me to fight the war or you want me to practice ahimsa? He's not saying that. That means he's getting it. Otherwise, he'd have asked, how can you have it both ways? Ahimsa does not mean not going to war. Ahimsa means that in your heart, you would not like to hurt anybody. In fact, you will do everything to prevent the war. But you're not a coward. You can fight the war should it be needed. So ahimsa is the attitude of non-violence. It is not against violence. This is an important thing, the important difference for us to understand. Excuse me. When we hurt somebody, either consciously or unconsciously, this is a very negative thing about us. But there are some times in life, sometimes, not always, when You need to hurt somebody so that a lot more is not hurt. For instance, when a surgeon cuts open your body and removes a terrible tumor there, he has done himsa to that tumor. He has done himsa to the person, but his attitude was of ahimsa. He was trying to save the patient. In Israel, once, a man in a restaurant took out a AK-47 and started randomly shooting everybody in the restaurant. So there was a man standing behind him who happened to have a gun in his pocket. So he was just standing behind the man. The man in front had taken out his AK-47 and was randomly shooting everybody in the restaurant. And the man behind him had a gun. He took out that gun and shot that person fatal. I mean, he shot point blank, right? Straight at him. The person died. So was this act one of himsa or ahimsa? He no doubt killed the person, but he saved the life of everybody else in the restaurant. So ahimsa is not an action. Ahimsa is the attitude of not wishing harm to anyone, preventing harm under all circumstances. Sometimes you have to choose lesser harm compared to more harm, so you choose doing the lesser harm. True ahimsa is you will not injure a person even if they injure you. You will not want injury on that person. But please don't misunderstand that as not taking relevant action. You're not wishing to harm the person, you're dealing with the situation. Ahimsa clear? Yes, do something. Give me a thumbs up. Do something.
Yes.
Milan, do you have a question?
No.
Now, so amanitvam, wrong values. Adambitvam, over concern about the opinions of others. Ahimsa, not wishing hurt on another person. So far, so good, right? And then comes this beautiful quality of Shanti. Shanti is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the recognition of the fact that each person will function according to his or her own vasanas. So the trouble with philosophy always is that we don't get it. We understand it, we can repeat it, but we don't get it. So in philosophy, you will be told each being functions with his own vasanas. You heard that, right? And so we have all memorized that everybody has vasanas. But if we understood that, then our life will be a life of forgiveness. Because who are you holding something against? And why are you holding something against this person? When you play a record, it will play those songs, isn't it? Because the etchings on that record is that. It can't play anything else. If you play a YouTube video, then only that video will play. If you press play 1 billion times, it will still play that one. Now, if you play a Justin Bieber video and then you say, oh, but he just doesn't sing as well as Bhimsen Joshi. I don't like this video. Then the question somebody will ask you is,
You should listen to Bhimsen Joshi then.
why are you playing this one? You are the one pressing play, and then you're saying it's playing Justin Bieber. Arey, what else will play? So, as long as you're going to transact with somebody, you are going to press the play button. If you are transacting, you must know what you are transacting with. Human beings could be gentle as a dove, ferocious as a tiger, slimy as a snake, dependent as a creeper, towering like an oak tree, different qualities. Now that I said like a snake, I'm sure some snake lover is going to tell me, how dare you talk of snakes like that? Please, everyone, focus on the point. The amount of, the amount of diversions our mind takes when our attachments play is amazing. The point is, each being has its own vasanas. And if you understand that, what are you fighting against? What are you complaining against? What are you remarking about? If your driver comes late and he's an habitual late comer, why are you saying that? Oh no, he's late again. He never comes on time. Why are you saying all this? It's like saying, the tiger is ferocious, the tiger is ferocious. Why are you saying that? Self-evident. You conduct yourself properly. Don't say the tiger is ferocious, my driver is late. Even in Karma Yoga, we make that mistake. How many people say, oh, but this person is like this, and that person is like that. Hey, Baba, if you press play, that video will play. How difficult is that to understand? So simple, right? So forgiveness really is, what is forgiveness?
Understanding.
Understanding.
Understanding what?
Nature will function.
Not everyone's going to function according.
Everybody will function according to their vasanas. Who are you forgiving and for what are you forgiving? What is there to forgive? So the concept of forgiveness is nothing to do with forgiveness. It is to understand a philosophical concept that every being functions according to his vasana. Now, Komal is in Rishikesh. Komal, are you in Rishikesh? Okay. So can she go out and say, oh, Rishikesh, I forgive you for being so cold? Will it make any sense to talk like that? Suppose she says, oh, Rishikesh is so cold, Rishikesh is so cold. But who told you to go there then? If you're finding it too cold, you go to Madras. What's stopping you? No, I will stay in Rishikesh and I will complain that it is too cold.
After going to Madras, I'll complain about Madras.
And I say, oh, Madras, you should see. In December in Madras, they all take out monkey caps and start wearing it. I don't understand that. It is so hot that Madras, it becomes bearable in December. But they would behave like they are in Rishikesh over there. Now, everybody will function according to his vasanas. So what Krishna is telling us is, if you are a jnani, if you understand these things, you will be what people call a forgiving person. It's just a comprehension, nothing else. So, Mani Ramaling. So if it matter of acceptance, say employees underperformance, is that forgiveness? How to deal with it? No action required. How to deal with it begins with recognizing that this is so. How do you deal with the tiger begins by recognizing that he's ferocious. So what will you do? You will not try to go shake hands with him, correct? Because he's ferocious. So how do you deal with it? You deal with it based on the kind of person you're dealing with. So somebody is underperforming. You have to understand what is he underperforming for. Is it because he's not motivated? Is he because he's incapable? Is it for any other reason? What is the problem? If he's incapable, then you cannot force him to do something he's incapable of doing. Give him a job he's capable of doing. If he lacks motivation, then that's what you have to handle. So whatever you do is based on an assessment of that person. So what action, when action is required, you take the action based on who you're dealing with. You don't have the same thing for everybody. So forgiveness is lack of mental resistance to other people's behavior. You have no mental resistance because you understand it is them. Like Mani Ramalingam, if you have two children, each child may be different. How you deal with each child will therefore have to be different. You can't do the same thing. Milind. Is that okay, Mani Ramalingam? So, is action required? When it is required, you start with understanding. Milind. Some new members are there today. Oh, do we have new people in class today? Anyone new today? Most of these names are looking the same to me. Oh, are you thinking Farah Khan is new? No, she's not new. She's old. No, I think is anyone new? Well, if you are new and it's not clear, please feel free to stop me and ask. Ravi Chabra. When we say assessment, are we not falling into the trap of being judgmental? Okay, so what is the difference between assessment and being judgmental? Assessment means saying it is hot today. Judgmental is it is hot and I don't like it being hot. So an assessment is an intellectual recognition of a situation. Being judgmental is your mind's view on that situation. Like you like it, you don't like it, you think you're better than it, you think you're worse than it. The mind has a view, often when there's no reason for it to have a view. To say that the temperature in Mumbai now is 32 degrees centigrade, assessment. To say it's so sweltering hot, I can't bear it. This is called being judgmental. To say to say that this person is a very looks at everything from the point of view of money is an assessment. To say he's so money minded, that is being judgmental because you are now claiming a superiority. So the intellect doing it, assessment, the mind having a view is being judgmental. Okay, Ravi Chabra, you have something else?
Yeah. one more example could be when you are assessing the nature of other person, which is driven by the vasanas, and we find that the person is angry or upset, and then you say, okay, I will avoid interacting with them. That could be the example of judgmental, right?
No, not necessarily. Why will we unnecessarily go interact with some angry person? There should be, if a person is angry, I have to decide whether I need to deal with that person or not. And why on earth will I go and unnecessarily deal with an angry person? I know if I deal with an angry person, that person will get angry with me regardless of what I do, because that is his nature. So why will I deal with that person? No, I need not deal with it. However, if that person happens to be my wife or my husband or my child or my boss, now I have to deal. So when I deal, I have to remember this. That this is the nature of this person. Every time he gets angry and says something rude, I don't have to react. So coming back to the difference is when the intellect does it, it is assessment. When the mind has a reaction to that assessment, it is called being judgment.
Thank you.
Bharat, getting angry with known set of people exposes lack of understanding of this insight. Yes. Yes, what you're saying is correct, but normally if you are saying this, you say the other way around, which means getting angry with a known set of people exposes attachment, exposes indiscriminate contact. So it's the same thing, but from two different sides. Instead of saying that it is not this, it's better to say it is this. It is non-discriminate contact. So non-discriminate contact is usually means my desire is stronger than my discrimination. Okay, suppose I say I want Pravesh to be, what shall I want Pravesh to be? I want Pravesh to be a footballer. And Pravesh is saying, Arey Baba, I don't know football, I'm not interested in football. No, I want Pravesh to be football. Then I will slowly start getting angry with her because she's not learning football or she's not playing football. So what you're saying is correct. It exposes a lack of understanding, but usually we'll say it the other way around. It shows attachment. Same thing really.
Attachment for the person or whatever the person is interrupting, correct?
Yeah, either case.
Okay.
So attachment, is an indiscriminate thought flow. Like me telling Pravesh, do you play football?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so my telling her, how you don't play football? That's terrible. Why should you not play football? She'll say, Ajeeb musibat hai ye. Why should I play football? But we will we'll behave like this with everybody. Pick up any random person and expect that any random person to do any random thing. Why should that person do it? Because I want. Why are you not on time? Why are you not on time? Arey? Everybody will decide how they want to live their life. Some people have decided they don't want to be punctual. Now, do you want to go to ICU because of it, or do you want to live your life properly? That person has decided not to be on time. Now you decide what you want to do. When there is that conceptual understanding, you don't get upset at all. You understand that this is par for the course. This is the way it is. Normal life is going on. If a person who's never punctual comes on time, then you should wake up and say, oh, something is up today. What's the matter? When he is late, par for the course. This is the way it is. This is a normal life is going on. Isn't it? You have an assessment. 10:30 every Sunday. The Bhagavad Gita class will be there. This is par for the course. If it is not there, then you have to ask, why is it not there? If it is there, why are you asking, why is it there? Correct, no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Where are y'all all gone to sleep? Let me see. Why don't more of y'all put on the video so I can at least think I'm talking to somebody? I don't know at what stage this will go away if we do. Okay, so far so good. Ah, Shilpa, I'm seeing you after a long time. First, you were a good video put on her. Now, so far so good. All qualities clear. Pravesh, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Go
Ma'am,
ahead.
normally most of the people are far away from this knowledge and doing. But once we started to follow this Vedanta knowledge, then mind will change its behavior, means started coming to the same level of intellect. Or sometimes we understand that means our understanding is incorrect. Like when we know something, but at the same point, the mind also restrict to follow that. But we are doing that. Means in that case, mind don't want to follow. So at that point of time, we will not able to understand that we are at the right track or not. Means some
As
kind of
long, as long as things are better than they were, you're on the right track. See, suppose as a person, suppose I'm a very hot-tempered person and I can get angry all the time. Then I come to Vedanta and then I learn that okay, I learned these values and all, and then I get angry. And I say, and I think, and everybody else also tells me, what, you're going to Vedanta class and you're getting angry. Okay, then we feel very disappointed. It's not that you go to Vedanta class and you go from black to white, right? So let us say you were getting angry 4 times a day. Now you get angry 2 times a day. You made progress. So it's not going to go. So you have to begin with your own assessment. I am an angry person. Okay, what can I expect will happen? I can expect that if I do my karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga properly, I can expect that in 6 months' time, this anger will reduce. Can I expect that my anger will become zero? Impossible.
But that is
Right.
what that is what your better half expects, that you started the joint. It's like a button, it should stop immediately.
Correct.
That's the problem.
Your better half and all the halves, all other halves, including yourself. We all have unreasonable expectations from ourselves. Now I'm going to Vedanta class, so tomorrow morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to get up and study. No, you're not going to. Everybody knows you're not going to. But what you can do is say, okay, I hope I can do better. I was getting up at 10 o'clock in the morning. Let me start getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Or at least 9:30. And work your way slowly back. Suppose you are in debts today. You have a 3 million debt on you. And you've gone to work and you started working. Do you expect that tomorrow the debt will go away? It will take time, no? That's called correct assessment. That I have a debt of 1 million on my head. I can reasonably assess that with this much income, this much savings, this many years it will take me to get rid of that debt. Okay? But if my debt was 1 million and now it is 3/4 of a million, I made progress.
Thank you, ma'am.
Surekha, we can make rational assessment of others, but what about our own vasanas while reacting? How do we deal with that? Oh, Surekha, same question, right? Same answer. Both of you all had the same thought, I'm sure others in the class also. Please let us not have unreasonable expectations from this set of vasanas, just as we don't have it from another set of vasanas. And the advantage with this set is at least I'm capable of knowing what it is. In other people's case, I may not know what it is. But in this case, I know. I have lived with this for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, whatever we have done. So I know what it is like. So I can make, it's exactly like running your organization. Also, Rekha is a CEO of her organization. So how would you do it when you go? She does she runs, is it called an NGO? She does social welfare work. So you go to a place where, let us say, 3,000 buildings have been knocked down and you're helping build them up. So you have a fair assessment, right? How many people will you be able to house in how much time? Given that 3,000 buildings have been knocked down for whatever reason. Same thing with us, that this much damage I have done to myself already. Now, what is a fair assessment of how much work will give me what result in how much time? Nothing is happening overnight. That's why we say Vedanta is lifelong. Chill, relax, enjoy the ride, have fun. Because we are here for a long, long time. It is not happening fast. There are people say, oh, you want people to come and stay in the university for 3 years. My dear, after 3 years, you'll simply figure out that what is the work you need to do. May or may not have done any work. This is a lifelong thing. Because to get to zero debt means getting to realization. Every vasana we have is a debt we pay. And we're going to have to pay that debt. So chill, enjoy yourself, have fun. You're here for the ride. We're going to do it for a long time. When you say that, the problem is people say, oh, it's there for a long time. Chalo, relax karo. We are having fun together. After 20 years of this, if you have not done the necessary work, you'll wake up one day and say, 20 years have passed. What have I done? It was one of the most frightening things for me when I joined Swamiji, 1988, I'm talking about. There was a lady who had been with him already for 20 years. She had already been there for 20 years. I mean, there was no academy, but she was, he was her teacher, she was learning, After I joined, 6 months later, I'm not going into all the details, but there was a fallout and there was all this tough drama that went on. And I was only 6 months or nothing, so 3 months into the journey. And I remember being terrified then, as I am now, that here's a person who could be with the master for 20 years. And 20 years later, not have made any progress or made minimal progress. Now, why is that? Because you become comfortable in this path. The daily hard work, we forget about. Daily hard work is not something that occurs to us that we have no option, but every single day. Every single day. So we have to balance between these two things. The non-expectation of the result, the enjoyment of the path, coupled with the hard work on a daily basis. If you don't do this on a daily basis, 20 years later, you'll wake up and say, to kya hua? So I don't know if that terrifies you. It used to terrify me then, it terrifies me today also. Every single day we have to do it. Your morning studies is a daily affair. Karma yoga, daily affair. Remembering the Lord in terms of emotions, daily, every single day. Not when you like it and how you like it. but in a disciplined manner. You have decided, I am getting up in the morning and doing this. Then I'm doing this. Then I'm doing this. Then I'm doing this. And you're keeping to that routine. So when we say that relax and enjoy that routine, that schedule, that discipline which you have made for us. Not relax and enjoy, oh, nice fun today. We'll all get together. We'll have New Year's party together. So nice. We should have had a New Year's party together. But we can do all that. But that is so that our mind stays on the path. Okay, Surekha?
Thank you, Janki.
Bharat?
Yeah, so Jankiji, even after 20 years without effort, would there even be realization? I mean, the delusion of knowledge will persist, right?
Yes, it's very frightening. Because you will have, just out of hearing, know how to say all those words. Very, very frightening.
Yes, that indeed is frightening.
Terrifying. Can happen to any one of us. Daily schedule. You have allocated time for it. See, if you want your teeth to stay with you for the rest of your life, from childhood you have been trained to brush, no? That is why more and more elderly people have their teeth. You remember when we were very, very young, most older people didn't have teeth. You knew an older person because they didn't have teeth. But now, over society learning this over a long period of time, each one of us knows that this is daily. It's not optional. And so when you grow old, one day you will have teeth, or at least many of them, or most of them, or a good amount of them, depending on what all you have done, because brushing alone isn't enough. Okay, so every day, non-optional. Do you ever give yourself the option not to brush your teeth? But you give yourself the option not to do your exercises, not to do your studies. Don't give those options. You say, I'm too sick to brush my teeth. You ever said, I'm too sick to brush my teeth? When I had this back a problem, I was in bed for some time because of my back. And then obviously all my other parameters went up and down because I'm in bed, I'm not doing anything. And then the doctor told me, which I thought was amazing. I said, because my parameters had gone bad, of course, all the numbers went haywire because you lie in bed for 2 months, what will happen? So he told me that you should have exercised because that keeps it right. But how can I exercise? He told me not to move. And then I was told, not when I was told, it was impossible to move. And then he's saying, you could move your back, but you could have moved your hands. So why didn't you do that? And I thought, yes, correct. Yes, it is possible that I'm too ill maybe to study in the morning. Maybe I'm jet lagged. Maybe I'm in a flight. I can't study. But I can do something just to ensure that this is daily. Now, if you go at it like that, then 20 years later, you can be relatively sure you'll be okay. That also no guarantees, but can be sure. Mani Ramalingam, non-attachment, enjoyment, and everyday hard work, daily routine, still gives non-fulfillment feeling. Impossible. Non-attachment. See, non-attachment is not something for us to practice. What is for us to practice is that we have discriminate contact, enjoyment, and everyday hard work. Still gives non-fulfillment feeling. If there is a feeling of non-fulfillment, that means something has been left out. It could be fulfillment of desire. It could be abstaining from desire. So it depends on the individual themselves. But a clear and very obvious result of Vedanta studies has to be a greater and greater sense of fulfillment, of well-being, mental and physical, a sense of cheer, more people wanting to be with you, more success, more productivity. These are the natural outcomes. And if they are not there, we have to stop and see what is it that is not done. Something is not done. I mean, you can't trick nature. Something is not done. Sometimes people abstain too much. Sometimes people indulge too much. Sometimes they study too much. Sometimes they study too little. But unless you get this whole balance right, how much desire, how much study, how much desire fulfillment, how much spiritual work, unless you get the entire balance right, that feeling of fulfillment won't come. So you've got to find out, where is that lacuna? Sometimes you're doing too much work, maybe you have to reduce the work. Sometimes you're doing too little work, maybe you have to increase the work. Sorry, I know that that does not answer the question, but with the question, there's very little data, so I can't say very much. But the point is, if you get the entire balance right, then fulfillment has to be the natural outcome. All right, so that's it for today. We'll do more of the qualities next time.